Hey, Scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, and I'm here with our June 2024 edition of the Savvy Scrapbookers, where my friends Debbie Martin, Donna Guest, and I divide up a Creative Memories paper pack, and in this case, the stickers that match that paper pack. And we each create one double-page layout using the pieces that we choose, which then, if you would like to copy them, will allow you to create 3 double-page layouts using only 1 pack of designer paper and 1 pack of the stickers this month. So with this Perfectly Patriotic, as soon as we decided we were going to do this, I thought of a layout that I had seen recently on the Creative Memories Japan website, and I want to show that to you. It's right here. It was just on Creative Memories Japan, and they used the diamond custom cutting system to make this really cute banner, and I thought that would be perfect for patriotic photos. So that's what I've done. So we're going to be using the diamond from the Gemstone Patterns of the custom cutting system and the blue blade. You will of course need your 12-inch trimmer. You might need a pair of scissors. I don't think so. You're going to need regular and repositionable tape runner, and you might want your personal trimmer in case you want to cut some photos. I think that's all we need for this layout. So the papers that I chose when we meet every month virtually as soon as we decide what collection we're going to use, and the papers that I chose to use this time, the first one I picked was this ombre red, white, and blue because I love it, but I also love the back. It's super busy, but as you can see, the way we used it, it's not too overwhelming. So there's this paper, the ombre. We're also going to be using this star stripe with the red and the blue stars, and then the back is just the stars. Okay, then this big sunburst on the red. We're just going to be using the red side. I think we only use the red side. And then the fireworks page, but I actually used it for the stripe. I thought I was going to use the fireworks, but I think you'll agree with me that this layout is already a bit much with the different mingling of patterns. So because we do cut up one entire paper, I also added 1 piece of light blue cardstock. Is it called baby blue? Anyway, whatever our light blue cardstock is, I added one of those to be one of our base pages. All right, so let's get started and I'll show you how to put this together. Okay, first off, let's take the baby blue cardstock and the stripe, fireworks on the back, and set those aside because we're not going to be using them. And let's do kind of I don't want to say it's hard because it's not hard, but it takes a little bit of precision to cut this so that you get the banners the right way so that it'll look good. The nice thing about this is the way that this paper is designed. This is going to allow you to really cut your diamonds are going to be straight and it's going to look good. All right, so trust me on that. So we're going to use the diamond pattern with the blue blade, and what you want to do is line up. There's like a little pad on the bottom that's like to hold it down and keep it from sliding. So you're going to line up that little pad on the red stripe. Okay, so just barely touching on this end, and then just so that you stay on the red. So you're going to have the red stripe down the middle and then the red stripes on either side, barely touching on the end. Use the blue blade and cut your diamond. Okay, and see how that just makes it like it's perfectly symmetrical. And then you can scoot over to the next little set of red stripes, and it's going to allow you to do the same thing. So we want to do the same, just barely on the paper here, and line up these two so you know that your diamond is going to be straight. If you're doing this with a different collection, or you do this banner technique with something else, you know, it wouldn't, if it didn't have a stripe on it, wouldn't matter so much if it wasn't straight. But because this does have a stripe, I feel like it does matter. And then we'll do the third one. And I just want to get it right positioned. And the reason you want to do the blue blade is because that's going to be the smallest of the diamond shape. So you'll see that there's quite a bit of paper still left after you have cut this. you know, if we use the red blade, that's a lot closer to the template. Okay, now we're gonna flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other end so that we can, again, use these stripes. This is the way we're gonna make sure that we can fit all 8 of our diamond pieces from this one piece of paper. See, so it's not that hard. And of course, if you're, like I say, if you're doing a different paper pack or something, you could just cut these out of scraps of something else. But for this one, I really liked having the stripes straight. Okay, so that gave us 6, but we need 8. And so you can see we've got this little space in the middle, but now we have to line it up with the white stripe. And kind of you just want to align it. You can kind of just see it in here. It doesn't matter exactly unless you want to use this paper for something else later, which I got to admit I kind of do, because that would be really kind of cool to have this. I don't know what I would do with it, but it's going to make a nice symmetrical design so that you could use this for something else down the line. So if you care about that, you know, just kind of make sure that you're a little bit positioned, you know, evenly if you can swing it. And we'll cut the last one. All right, so there's our 8 diamonds. And so you can see the back. Look how neat that looks. That really could be, I mean, you could use that on a different layout or something. I would probably trim off, you know, a 1/4 inch or something and mat this on a different color, but I think that would be really awesome. All right, so I did do some cutting guides. So if you want a screenshot or something, just to remind you the pieces that you're going to need, you're going to need to cut 8, the diamond custom cutting system with the blue blade on the inside. All right. Okay, so that's paper number 1. And then we're done with this. Okay, paper number 2, let's use our ombre paper. I don't know if this counts as ombre. I don't know how to describe this, but this 2-tone, 3-tone paper, I guess, we're gonna cut. And this is an easy cut because it's just some straight, actually the rest of them are super easy to make up for that one that's hard. We're gonna do 2 4-inch by 12-inch stripes. And then we're going to take this one and we're going to cut it in half, but you might not want to cut it exactly in half. If I do it exactly in half, I'm going to go, oh, look, that actually is going to work. I want to be right along the edge of where it says kind of barbecue right here. I don't want to cut half the word, but it actually worked this time. So, but if you want to scoot it over a smidge, just so you make sure that you get that whole word barbecue, you know, or however you want it, but you want to cut it about in half, but try to cut it someplace logical so that you end up with, you know, if you cut yours in the opposite direction, you might need to adjust that, but these are, you know, close enough, even though I scooted that one over. Okay, super easy cuts this time, 2 4x12s and 2 2x12s. Okay, so that one's easy peasy for these 4 cuts, or 3 cuts right here for these 4 stripes. All right, and then we're gonna do our last paper. Oh, I happen to just see this sitting up there on my table. Look how cool that looks. I think that could be an awesome, awesome layout. But you need this paper for somebody else's layout, so maybe use a different background, but I think that's really cool. All right, now we're gonna cut our last piece, and this one isn't hard, but we have to kind of do it in a little bit of a backwards order. So it might be a little bit confusing, but what we want to do is make sure that when we cut our photo mat, that it kind of has a pleasing border around it. You may not care. If you don't care, then you can just cut it in half and cut your mats and ignore all the rest of this. And then I also wanted to have a little string to hang my banner from. It probably doesn't matter. You barely see it, but I liked the way it looked. If you had some baker's twine or embroidery floss or something like that, you want to use that instead, you could skip the part where we're going to cut the little strings. But I wanted to do it, and I want to show you how to do it. So, but the thing I want to do is to get this piece in the middle to be one of my photo mats. So I'm going to cut, I want to end up with a 6-inch wide piece. So I'm going to cut 3 inches off this side. And then I'm going to turn it around 90 degrees and cut 3 inches off this side so that I'm left with a piece that is 6 inches wide. Okay, so these are my two 3-inch mats. And then I've got this piece, I'm going to cut at 4 inches. And then I'm going to cut at 4 inches. So that way I end up with this one where the sunburst is right in the middle, and then these where they're, you know, kind of going in the other two directions. But now we need to cut two 1/8 inch strips because the banner is kind of sagging. We can't just cut one strip. We're gonna have to piece them together. And I actually kind of folded them around to the back just to give that illusion of string. So each of these, I wanna cut two 1/8 inch strips. So if you're using the Creative Memories trimmer, the line closest to the logo is your cutting line. And then the line next to it is about 1/8 inch. This doesn't have to be exact. We're just making pretend string that you're only gonna see a tiny, tiny bit of. So I'm gonna put my paper so that the edge of the paper covers up the second dotted line right here. And then I'm gonna carefully cut 2 pieces of this fake string. So like I say, if you have some other kind of string or you don't care, you can skip this step. You don't have to cut these 2 little strings, but I wanted to cut it. I think I cut it from the inside, right? So you can see how it kind of goes out. I'm cutting them the same way, right? Covering up the line at 1/8 inch. And covering up the line. All right, so now I've got my little faux string. Got 4 pieces of that. I've got my 2 3-ish strips. You cut it at 3 first, and then you cut the 2/8 inch strips. So hopefully that made sense. Okay, so here's your little cutting guide if you want to screenshot that for a little cheat sheet. And I think we're done with the cutting, and all we have left is assembly. Okay, so hopefully you got that. Now we're going to take the 2 pieces that we set aside, which are the baby blue. I can't remember if it's baby blue or light blue. I'm going to have to check just a second. Let me put this down, and then I'm going to look so I don't lead you astray with what color I used. All right, hang on. Okay, my paper organizer says light blue, so that's the name of this color. We're going to take these 2 ombre strips and put them along the outside edges. And then we're going to take the 2 little barbecue pieces and put them like just along the inside of this. And if you wanted to weld this together, you could, in fact, you would have enough paper with this. You might have to cut a strip off of these to do part of the welding, but you could weld these together if you don't want to lay it on top, but that gets confusing, and I know people don't love the welding. So let's stick these down. I do like this paper, but it's very, very busy. Just going to line it up with the edge. And I chose to put my stripes horizontal, but you could do it either way if you prefer vertical stripe. I actually don't know if I even looked at it vertically to see if I might like it better, but there's just a lot of vertical stripes going on here. All right. Okay, so there's our base, and then we're going to take these 2 strips and put them about a 1/2 inch from the bottom And I wanted to, I like to have the little rays be in the same direction. I didn't think it looked as good if they were going in opposite directions, although I don't think anyone will care. And that actually kind of looks cool right there. But I put mine so they were both going in the same direction, about 1/2 inch from the bottom. And that's just to make sure that we have enough space for our photo mats and, you know, the other things we want to use. So I do have a grid on here, and I'll just, it's coming off the edge of my paper. My piece of light blue paper is not, I grabbed this from my stash, and I might have cut a strip off of this in the past. Oh well, pretend you didn't see that. Actually, let me get a new piece and I'll replace it. Yeah, look, I apparently cut this piece, or it was cut crooked. So I could edit that part out. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave that in. And has anybody else ever had that? Had a piece of paper that wasn't cut straight? Let's line it up with my grid and just make sure that this one's cut straight. Look, it's not. It's cut crooked. How interesting. My paper's cut crooked. So we're going to do it this way. I'm going to cover up the crooked edge with this paper. I have no idea how that happens, or yeah, that's really weird. Okay, so I'm going to line it up. I'm actually going to grab my Creative Memories 12-inch mat just to see what on earth is going on here. If I could remember when I bought this, I would send it back, but I cannot. But look at that. How interesting. It does not line up right here on this edge. So this is already stuck down. I'm just going to go off the edge and make this a straight piece. I don't think I cut it. I wonder if I got, oh, I forgot to put this piece down. I wonder if I got a dud. All right. Well, that was an interesting life lesson. Never had that experience before. And of course it happened while I was on video. Okay, but now that one's set, and then we'll just, I'm gonna mark that paper somehow so I don't think it's straight again. All right, and now I'm going to put this one, I like to just butt it up against the other one and line it up that way. Okay, now the fun part, we get to make our banner. So what you want to do is you want 4 of these to have the stripe on the top and 4 of them to have the stars on the top. And you don't want to fold them exactly in half. I folded them so there was just a little bit of a gap, not a gap, but like a little border around, so you could see both sides. So just fold these so that you have 4 of them that have the stripes on the outside, and 4 of them that will have the stars on the outside. Again, it doesn't matter, not rocket science. You're just making a little banner. So those are my 4 stripes, and now I'll do my 4 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I tried this a couple of different ways. The first time I put made the little string first and hung it from the string and then put it on. But I think it's easier if you just put it on by itself. So you're going to take 2 of the stripes and 2 of the stars, and it doesn't matter which order you go in. And you just kind of want to put it so it's just a little bit of a swoop. You want to alternate star and stripe, star and stripe. Okay, so it's probably maybe not quite a 1/4 inch, and you just kind of make a visual little swoop right there, and just use some tape runner on the back and just kind of visually line these up with each other. Oh, I did that backwards. Make sure that the side that shows both sides is the one that's up. All right, so we'll do that one kind of right here. And I'm sorry I don't have a better, like a measurement for that, but just kind of eyeball it so that it, you know, this kind of lines up together. Just the top little folded edge of your little banners lines up. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, but we'll start with the opposite, you know, we'll do it the same way so that we're still going star stripe, star stripe. All right, so I want to make sure that I get this one at about the same height as that one. And then I'll just kind of do the same thing. Actually, if you do the two outside ones first, well, probably better to have them on so you kind of know, you know, the spacing width-wise. Put these down, and you notice I haven't stuck the middles down yet because we're going to do that for our string. But like I say, right here, there's just not much. You could even draw it with a pen if you wanted to. But we made these cute little fake strings, so we're going to use them. I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive. And I'm just going to take two of these little 1/8 of an inch pieces and stick them together with the red side up. Okay. And this is going to be longer than I need. I probably could have gotten away with just cutting two of these, but I want to hide this seam under one of these little folds. So I'm just going to take my repositionable adhesive and put it right along the fold line. And then butt this up just to the top of that fold. Okay, so it's right up against the fold. You don't want it on the fold because this needs to still be able to fold over. So just right along the edge of the fold. And then when you put it on the next one, you just kind of have to finesse it a little bit and make it turn. Just to give it that look of ribbon. And you might want to like try and, if you have to crease it or something, hide that under here. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on this side, right along the crease. We'll put this in. I guess I'm kind of unfolding it a little, you know, and sticking that down, and then unfolding it. Baker's twine would be easy. Okay, and then I took the little string and I just decided to stick it down along the back. So I just grabbed a piece of scrap white cardstock and I'm just going to cut a couple little tiny pieces of this to use to cover up what I'm going to do. I'm using my regular tape runner and I'm just putting a little piece of tape right here and sticking the fake string to that piece of tape. And then you probably could get away with just putting this down on top of it, but I'm just going to take another little piece of adhesive and cover up that sticky bit. Okay. And then any little piece that's left over, you can just snip off. Like I said, we probably could do, you know, I could probably use this piece rather than doing the other two, but I already cut the other two. So there, that's our little banner. And it's kind of sticking a little bit right here. And so what I wanted to do was to keep it having some dimension. So I'm going to use my foam squares and I'm just going to use one of these little tiny ones. And I put it right in the middle of the point. Just enough to keep it popped up a smidge. You know, I don't want it to be too lumpy. I want it to draw too much attention, but that way, even when it's in my album, it will have a smidge of dimension, like it's a real, you know, like it's a real banner, which I guess it is. And actually, you could probably use this. Maybe you use the paper and the outside of this template. You could make real little banners to hang in your house if you wanted to for the 4th of July. Okay, so there's that side, and then we're gonna do the exact same thing to the other side. I'm gonna take my 2 fake strings and attach them together. Just about, you know, an inch or so, just enough to give you that extra length that you need. But then I really did want to hide this part under one of these banners. So, I mean, not that you really can barely see where the seam is, but you know me, I always like to make it harder than it has to be. Some of you have told me that I worry too much about some of these things, and I know you're right, but I do it anyway. A little too far down. And then this last piece right here. If you didn't want to do the foam squares right here, you wouldn't have to. I mean, you could just stick it down. It would probably be fine. But I really do like the hint of dimension that it gives by using a foam square. If you want more dimension, you could use lots of foam squares, or a bigger foam square, or the foam tape. Lots of choices right here for this one. Okay. So there we go with our little banner. All right, and then we'll do the same thing to hide the pieces on the back. Oh, look, that's where that paper messed up. That is the weirdest thing, you guys. Never seen that before. And the interesting thing is that this is like, these were the last 2 pieces of this paper I had in my stash here at home. And I wonder if all of them have been crooked and I have just somehow not noticed it. And if I've got crooked layouts in my album somewhere, it's like a mystery. Or if I thought I was cutting crooked, if I blamed myself, that would have been terrible. It wasn't my fault. I'm innocent, I tell you. Okay, so that is done. And here we have our layouts. I'm gonna clean this up. And if you want to make a finished layout without photos, you could put your stickers on now, but I do actually have photos for this one. All right, and these are from last year, 4th of July. And we have little fireworks in our town. And there are several different places you can go for fireworks, but the one that's closest to my house is, you know, not huge fireworks. But even though we were like right there where they were shooting them off, I was just taking pictures with my phone, so the pictures are kind of small. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to crop these down, kind of put my little fireworks photos down along the bottom. I do have this cute picture of my husband watching the fireworks. So I think I'm gonna put that one down there. And then I maybe have too many of these. We stopped at the beignet truck because they had food trucks. We sat with our friends. I'm gonna put that on there. Here we are. And then we decided to walk to the fireworks because we thought that there was a shortcut, and then there wasn't a shortcut. So we had to walk all the way around, and it was long and it was hot. So I'm going to put my mats, I think I'm going to put this picture, well, actually I can kind of trim them all down. This one's going to be a little bit harder to trim because we are zoomed in a little bit. But the mats are 4x6, so I think I'm going to trim these down. This one will be easy to trim off to, okay, I'm going to trim this to 5.5, but it's a 4x6 print. And, you know, we're getting that new photo trimmer this summer that's going to go out enough that we'll be able to trim to 5.5. This one you can't. So I'm just going to fake it. I'm going to use the edge of this, the handle, and I'm just going to line this up with the edge. I can just feel it with my finger. I'm just going to trim that off. Whatever that, I mean, so I did that, but look, it's right here on the 3.5. So that's pretty much 1/4 inch. So I'm going to put that piece right here. Talk about us walking. And then this piece, oh, I'm gonna have to cut off, I'll cut a little bit of his hand off. My little trick isn't gonna work though, because I didn't want to cut a 1/2 inch off either side. So I'm just going to use this little ruler on here and mark it with the pencil. But oh, I'll be glad when the new trimmer gets here. Cannot wait. Still hoping that it will be end of July, that advisors will be able to buy one as a sample, and then the end of August, when the Croptoberfest stuff launches, that everyone will be able to buy it. Okay, so I kind of don't want to trim this photo. I might leave it whole, and I'll trim this one down and put that one on here. I can cut off a little bit of this. Oh, I can't cut too much off because I don't want to cut the beignets off. But I can cut these people, and I'm sorry, I'm going to give my husband a haircut right there. He'll never know. All right, so I think I'm going to do it like that. So you may want to wait and, you know, arrange your photos. I could even trim this a little bit smaller, and then it'll fit better. I'll cut these people off. Sorry, people. It'll fit better. So you may want to wait to, you know, adhere your pictures until you know what, when it's centered though. You know, don't put your mats on until you know what your pictures are going to look like. Okay. You know what, I think, even though my sample doesn't have that, I think this one I need some blue paper, and I think I'm going to use a piece of Starry Night Shimmer for that. Yeah, that's going to work. So I'm kind of breaking the rules by pulling out an extra piece, and I'm going to cut this at 4.5 by 6.5. Don't tell anyone that I brought in extra paper. I don't think I'm supposed to. But, you know, you can do what you want with your layouts and your photos. And if I could have made, you know, if I had a vertical photo, that would have been perfect right here. But I think I like that with a little piece of Starry Night Shimmer. I'm not going to stick these down until I figure out the positioning. And this is the one that I was so concerned about, having the lines on the picture go in the right direction. You can't even see it. So I'll put these down. Oh, I didn't stick that on. End the night with a little beignet. All right, and then I'm going to cut my little fireworks pictures probably to about, I was thinking like a 2 by 2, but I don't know that they need to be square. This is like 2 and, what do we decide, 2 3/4? I don't know. I think I'm just going to kind of cut them at random sizes. I just care about the fireworks part, right? I don't care about all this extra space or the people in front of us whose blanket was blocking my photos. So let me, I'm going to cut this. I will edit this part out. I'll just snip all my little photos down, and then I'll be back to put the rest of it together. Okay, I've cut all these pictures, and they're just going to kind of be down here. I'll put him this way, and then I'll put these little pictures. I don't know, am I the only person that takes pictures, like compulsively takes pictures of the fireworks? Like, they're the same all the time. Nobody cares. But I can't not take them. But I'm not going to put my pictures all the way to the end, because when we were dividing up the stickers, they have these 2 little lawn chairs, which is exactly what we were sitting on, are these little lawn chairs. In fact, in this picture, you can see me carrying it. What I thought was going to be like a 1/4 mile and ended up being like 1.5 miles, since the shortcut was blocked off. So I'm going to put these 2 little lawn chairs right here. And I'm also going to use this little banner that says, "Let the sparks fly," right above it. Let the sparks fly. All right, and then I will put, oh, they stuck to me. Then I'm going to put the picture of him down. Actually, maybe now that I have that secret Starry Night Shimmer, I think I'm going to map the picture of my husband down here too. Shh. Don't tell on me. All right, I do like this Starry Night Shimmer with the with this Perfectly Patriotic. Okay, so he's going to be right here, and then all these little fireworks are going to go. I love this one. It was a smiley face. It's upside down, but it was a smiley face a smiley face in the sky. So let's see how many fireworks pictures I have. I'm gonna leave some space to journal about us walking and about our friends. This is probably the finale right here. I should put it right at the end. Put that right there. All right, so we didn't have a cookout. We didn't even really remember to take a picnic. We bought they had like a little hamburger stand, and you could buy a hamburger for $3, which is not bad, but that was what it was. It was a hamburger and a bun. It was no toppings. I think we got a little packet of ketchup and a little packet of mustard, and that was it. They didn't have any fries. You could have a hamburger or a hot dog. Those were your choices. And we were glad to have it because we thought we were going to buy dinner from the food trucks. The lines were long and the choices were slim. And I printed I took probably 10 times more pictures than this, but I only printed out a few of them. All right, so I'm trying to decide if I want to do it like that or if I want to just make them all fit. I think I'm just going to make them all fit this way. Tuck that behind here and put this smiley face. Cameras just never capture the awesomeness of fireworks. I every year take pictures. Every time I go to Disney, I take pictures of the fireworks. I say I'm not going to, and then I can't help myself. Okay, so there are my fireworks pictures. And now I'm going to stick this one down first. And this one, I want to have space to journal, and I was going to journal underneath, but I think I'm going to journal on top so that I can just have some variety in how I position these. I'm just angling them a smidge. This one I will also angle. And this one. All right, and then I'm also going to take this 4th of July, happy 4th of July, and it's going to go right here. In my sample, I have it off to the side, but I think the way our picture is right here, it's going to go right on top of the picture. I don't usually do that, but that's where it's going to go. And then the other was the fireworks. This fireworks, actually I want to do the little fireworks. There's 3 firework bursts, and I got all of them. This one's red, and I don't want it to kind of go up in the red. I think I want to put that one here, this one here, this one here, and I'm going to pull out my foam squares and put them on this fireworks sticker. You can kind of de-stickify your sticker if you're worried about it like getting crushed down, if you want to use fewer foam squares. Sometimes I'll just like put it on the leg of my jeans and, you know, tap it down a few times and get some little jeans fibers on there. They sell like baby powder or cornstarch little things. I wouldn't use cornstarch because that's a, you know, food product. I wouldn't want that. And actually I was reading something recently that said that like talcum powder, baby powder, like it's like bad stuff. Like people are getting sued for using that, or having, you know, the companies that made it are getting sued and people are getting cancer or whatever. So just use lots of foam squares. How's that? All right, I'm going to put that right here. Fireworks. And then the other thing that I kind of picked in our divvying up was the two little American flags. I don't know if I want to use those. Like, I don't want to go too crazy. I mean, it is the 4th of July. When else can you go crazy? I guess there's a flag right there. I don't know. I think I'm going to skip the American flags, but all these little white stars, I picked them. So not the ones that have the little lines on them, just the plain white ones. So I'm just going to put a couple of those American white stars. And of course, you don't have to use them just because I did, but I just want to make sure that, you know, we don't all use the same things. I think I'll put a couple down here. And actually, my paper has a little divot on it, so I think I might just put one right there. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to do a little journaling. But other than that, I am done. I really, really like how this turned out. I love that I got my idea from Creative Memories Japan's Facebook page. I love the ideas that we get from other people. I thought that I gotten the idea from the Creative Memories virtual crop group. And so before I started filming this video, I was like, oh, I need to find that in the virtual crop group. When I was scrolling through to find it, and then I realized that must not have been where it was. But there's so many great ideas. If you are not a member of the Creative Memories virtual crop group on Facebook, highly, highly recommend it. If you are not on Facebook, you know, it might be worth it to join Facebook just to go to the Creative Memories virtual crop group. You do not have to accept friend requests from anybody. Don't tell Facebook this. You can have a fake name. If your name is Susie Smith and you want to be Sparkle McGlitter on Facebook, nobody cares. All right? Nobody's going to know it's you. Get on there to see those layouts. That's all you have to do is join the virtual crop group and nothing else. Although you might want to follow me and Donna and Debbie so that you can see all the new Creative Memory stuff. But here we go. I will journal, and then I'll come back and show that, you know, just at the end with a little bit of journaling. But then I'm done. So, all right, hang on just a second for the finished product. All right, here we go. I used the navy blue pen. I felt like that worked, and I just kind of journaled a few. I probably could have journaled more if I'd had more space, but I think I told the bulk of the story, and I really, really like how this turned out. Let me turn off the light so you can see without the reflection. There you go. Is that better? Not as bright, but hopefully you can see without the reflection. I'm leaving this light on, but I think it turned out really cute. I love the banners. Well, do you think that you will use them for the Perfectly Patriotic? What other kind of themes do you think that these little banners would work for? I just think there's a lot of potential that you could use these for little festive banners, and who knows, like maybe like a little Halloween banner with some little pumpkins and ghosts or something. Christmas, I don't know. I love this little banner with the diamond custom cutting system pattern. All right, so thanks for watching. Now you want to go ahead and hop on over to Donna's and then Debbie's, or Debbie's and Donna's, or unless mine's the last one, but be sure to hop on over and watch all 3 of our videos so that you will get the get all the things you need to do to create 6 pages, 3 double page spreads using just 1 pack of the Perfectly Patriotic paper and stickers. And I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Theme Park Thursday. And until then, happy scrapbooking.